We're live. Hey, we're live. Welcome. It is March 15th, 2023 to the Stuttering Sports Show. Last time we did this, or I did this, was Monday, the day of NFL free agency. I had the show in the morning before, so I have had no chance to talk about any of the moves any team has made. A lot of games have had talk about the not so cool stuff that's happened, and yeah, just jump right into it. The Chicago Bears, long-awaited spending spree. We've all been waiting for this. Everyone knew last season was going to be a bust before the season even started. The talent wasn't there. New head coach, new general manager. They came in and just cleaned house. Everyone knew last going crazy. I think they should hold on to a bountiful amount of cap space because that's a great thing to do, especially when you have a top 10 pick. But yeah, the major signing the Bears had was linebacker Tremaine. He was the premier inside linebacker in this free agency class. In a league where there isn't that many great inside linebackers, is Tremaine Edmunds one of them? We'll see as he really enters what should be his prime in Chicago. 4 years, $72 million deal. The Bears are banking on it being his prime in Chicago with defensive core time starting linebacker for Philadelphia, TJ Edwards, to a 3-year, $20 million deal. Pretty small little contract to play alongside Tremaine Edmunds. Obviously, linebacker, a massive need. DeMarcus Walker to a 3-year, $21 million contract. He had 7 sacks in 2022, trying to bolster up that pass rush with now Tremaine Edmunds and TJ Edwards being on the second level. On the offensive side of the ball, shoring up the offensive line, or at least attempting to, with guard Nate Davis on a 3. We got 4 starters. I don't see why you do a lot more. There aren't many splashes out there. Just kind of just hope you just hope you draft well. You got future draft picks. You got your quarterback. You got 4 starters. If this is it, pretty solid. Moving forward, not really work. Now you bring in Javon Hargrave, and you got him with Nick Bosa, Fred Warner in the second level. Don't forget about Eric Armstead. Kind of crazy. It's pretty crazy that this has worked out. Javon Hargrave, 11 sacks in 2022, a Pro Bowler with Philly in 2021. But I just know, hey, the 49ers have shored up their D-line. I don't know how the hell they had cap space. I know they have a lot of void cap in 2024 and 2025. But fuck it. I mean, if you can win a Super Bowl, Javon Hargrave helps you do that. The NFC 2022 runner-up gets better on. Moving forward to another NFC conference team trying to shore up the trenches. Their running game, I'm talking about the Atlanta Falcons, of course. Their running game was their premier thing. They couldn't throw the ball, and they had no pass rush. But they could run the ball like hell because Arthur Smith turned an undrafted rookie, Cordell Patterson, and like a 6th or 5th round pick in Tyler Algier into a fantastic running attack. And they re-signed the offensive linemen that helped make that work. Both guard Chris Lindstrom and tackle Caleb McCary, first-round picks in 2019. Both do get big extensions. Not really big on McGarry's part, but $34.5 million, that's a lot of fucking money. Chris Lindstrom getting a 5-year, $105 million contract is a lot of fucking money. Why not? This is awesome for the Falcons that they're not going to lose what worked last season. Their running game worked last season. You do not want to mess that up. Bring these guys back. I do not have it on the screen for whatever reason. Did not make a graphic for it. But on the defensive side of the ball, helping out the trenches, they did sign Saints consistent starter D tackle David Onyemata. I definitely just butchered that name. But I don't know much about him, but it's a 3-year, $34 million contract, and he has been a consistent starter in the NFL for some years now, so pretty damn good. And bringing in Jesse Bates, former Cincinnati Bengals safety, former All-Pro member, is a massive, massive, massive get for the Falcons to help out the secondary alongside A.J. Terrell. Falcons, they were second in cap space going into this offseason. They still have, I believe, $40 million left. They still have a top 10 pick. Similar situation to the Bears. If this is it, you get to shore up your offensive line for the next few years and bring in some defensive help, especially considering their pass rush was dog awful last season. Yeah, Falcons, this has been great so far. Moving forward to over the next 3 seasons, not including this year, is just wild to me. But they're spending the money. They're beefing up their D-line alongside Myles Garrett, bringing in notorious run stuffer defensive tackle Dalvin Tomlinson to a 4-year, $57 million contract. They're also bringing in a younger DN Agbania Aquankwo. I'm sorry, I just butchered that too. To a 3-year, $19 million contract. What's funny about the second contract of Agbania Aquankwo, it already has void years on it. It already has void years. Like, they're already looking ahead to just adding in void years. That's sad. But that's just crazy to me that a contract you just signed, only a total of $19 million, already has void years. Their cap management is god-awful. Sacks in his 8 starts last season. For the Texans, that's pretty damn good. You're beefing up that D-line, trying to compete in the ever-evolving AFC North. Moving forward to another team beefing up the trenches, but on the offensive side of the ball, we got the Denver Broncos loading up the trenches. Major signing of the 3 on the screen is obviously former first-round pick 49er tackle Mike McGlinchey to a 5-year, $87.5 million contract. That is massive. Russell Wilson needed some protection. They just got, assuming left tackle. I assume it's left tackle. I know he was a right tackle with I know he was a right tackle with San Francisco, and admittedly I don't know the Broncos offensive line off the top of my head, but this is a massive contract. Excuse me. This is a massive contract for both the Broncos. McGlinchey, obviously McGlinchey just became extremely rich, but this is massive for the Broncos. I don't know the guaranteed number off the top of my head either, but I know it's a pretty big contract. You want to help Russell Wilson as much as possible. You fired the head coach. You're bringing in Sean Payton. Last season was a disaster. Whether you like it or not, you're with him. He is your guy because of the amount of money you paid him. He is your guy for the foreseeable future. Load up as much as possible, especially considering they don't have draft picks. Denver does not have draft picks. They cannot improve through the draft. It's extremely flawed. I do not do that. But when you're already in the situation, you just have to try to make the most of it. Bringing in Mike McGlinchey certainly does that. On the guard, for the guard position, they bring in Ben Powers, who has been a consistent starter for the Ravens in both 2021 and 2022, to a 4-year, $51.5 million deal. Last season was his first year playing a full season, so you could say, whoa, that's a big commitment. And it is, but not really. If the ass off and stays healthy, then boom, you're in your money. Pretty sweet. And looking at the defensive side of the ball, you bring in DN Zach Allen from the Arizona Cardinals, 3-year, $45.75 million deal. I believe he had 7 sacks total last. No. He only had 5 sacks total last season, but 3.5 over his last 5 games, helping the D line, which had Bradley Chubb. Now it has Randy Gregory and Zach Allen. Moving forward to the Detroit Lions. I didn't put cornerback help on the graphic for whatever reason, but a big thing that happened was they signed David Montgomery to a 3-year, $18 million deal, essentially losing Jamal Williams in the process. This one scares me. I don't like this. Jamal Williams was a Lion. He wanted to embody that as much as possible. I've been a Lions fanboy, you could say, ever since they brought in Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes as head coach and GM. I think this was the first slip. At the end of the day, is it a big deal? Probably not. But I think this was the first slip that Detroit has had, because Jamal Williams, he was a program guy, and he got a lot of fucking touchdowns. He was your short yardage back. I do believe David Montgomery could be that, especially only on a 3-year, $18 million deal. But I think it was the Lions' first slip, losing Jamal Williams on purpose. It's interesting to me because I don't believe on the defensive side of the ball, they were able to bring in Cam Sutton, cornerback from the Steelers, to a 3-year, $33 million deal. From a Steelers fan perspective, this one hurt. Sutton, former 3rd-round pick, pretty damn good corner. He's not going to be a great cornerback one. He isn't, but in a division without great receivers, besides, of course, Justin Jefferson, where the next guy is DJ Moore, yeah, I don't I don't think you necessarily need great cornerbacks, but oh my God, their secondary last year was god-awful. You bring in Cam Sutton to help that out, and they also brought in Emmanuel Mosley, cornerback from the 49ers. Mosley's big thing is he can't stay healthy. He's played 16 games over the last 2 years, placed on IR in back-to-back years. A little concerning, but you got to do what you got to do. It's a smaller contract. I don't know the exact numbers on it, but they brought in Cam Sutton and Emmanuel Mosley to shore up the cornerback group, and they were also able to re-sign starting linebacker Alex Anzalone and D-tackle John Comiskey, who played 50% of snaps last year. Actually, it's like 48, but I'd round it up. But, yeah, I mean, they were able to re-sign Anzalone and Comiskey, bring in Cam Sutton and Emmanuel Mosley for the defense. The offensive side of the ball, though, bringing in David Montgomery for Jamal Williams from a talent standpoint makes sense. But Jamal Williams was a lion. I don't like that. That post-game interview he had at the end of the Lions-Packers game, that was the best thing ever, and they decided to lose him. I don't get that, but they know more than I do. Moving forward, the Cowboys. Actually, on my TV over there, it just said that they were likely to move on from Zeke. I don't know what his cap hit is, or his dead cap, but that's kind of crazy. Sorry about that. I know they did franchise tag Tony Pollard. Obviously, the right decision. You want to bring that guy back, but on the computer screen, Cowboys help out Dan Quinn, which they did big time. Bringing in Stefan Gilmore for a 5th and a 6th is undoubtedly a good move. I'm not going to sit here and act like a cornerback that's on his 4th team in 4 years is going to be the game changer. I know he won DPOY and he had a good season last year. He stayed healthy throughout last season too, starting every game for the Colts. He had a good year last year. 4th team in 4 years. I'm not going to pretend like that's something to write home about, though. But giving up a 5th and a 6th for him, putting him opposite of Trevon Diggs, the talent is there. The talent is there, helping out Dan. But that is pretty cool. They help out Dan Quinn a lot, re-signing his guys, and bringing in a former Defensive Player of the Year, coming off of a healthy and good season. I'm not going to hype it up too much like some people are. The guy's on his 4th team in 4 years, but maybe this is the stop because Dan Quinn is at that stop. Hopefully Stefan Gilmore can really turn it off of his deal where his cap hit's only $6.25 million. This has been an extremely team-friendly deal. A lot of people on Twitter are saying he's overrated, yada, yada, yada. You can say that, but, I don't think he's going to get massive guy, but I assume if he wants to leave, it is for a long-term deal. And he's not getting that in LA right now for whatever reason. I don't know which team would be willing to trade for him. A team is going to have to shell out a pick and a decent-sized running back contract for him. I don't know how many teams are willing to do that. Perhaps Chicago. That's my best guess. Moving forward. Oh, that looks like shit. I didn't know that when I made it. The Raiders making offensive moves, bringing in quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo, reuniting him with Josh McDaniels to a 3-year, $72.25 million contract. A lot of people are hating on this. I don't get why. Yeah, they didn't get Rodgers. Okay. Yeah, Tom Brady retired. Bringing Jimmy Garoppolo is not a bad move whatsoever, actually, especially on a $24 million deal. That's not bad whatsoever. That's pretty fucking good, actually, especially the talent that's around him and Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs. It sucks they only franchise tag Josh Jacobs. I should have had that discussion like 2 weeks back, but that's stupid. That's really dumb. But yeah, they also brought in wide receiver Jacoby Myers to a 3-year, $33 million deal. I believe the dead cap's very small after year 1, so they can cut him after year 1, and if it don't understand why the Raiders did this, I know the Waller contract is large, but there's no guaranteed money after this season. And even if they cut him, his dead cap's only like $6.5 million this season. And you're going to let go of him now for pick 100. Why? What a get for the Giants. The Giants' receiving core is notoriously bad, but they still won because of it. Darren Waller, he can't stay healthy. I get it. He only played 20 years. Next to nothing. That's really impressive. But I don't really get it from the Raiders' perspective. Bringing in Jimmy Garoppolo as your 3-year quarterback, bringing in Jacoby Myers. You have Renfro. You have Devontae Adams. You have Josh Jacobs for 1 more year. when you're trading Darren Waller, when there's only essentially 1 year left on his contract, because after this year you can cut him with no dead cap. For pick 100 makes no sense, makes all the sense in the world for the Giants. Pick 100, shoot, maybe they find a guy. Moving forward to other notable signings / whatever, the running back market kind of didn't bringing back Boston Scott